What is going on, guys? It's Bengt. Welcome back to another video. In this one, we are going over a step-by-step plan that you can use to achieve your goals. These are steps that I have taken in my personal life to achieve things that I've wanted. It's kind of a collection of information and ideas that I've learned in my life through personal experience, from the experience of the people around me, and also from mentors and other people that I've had discussions with that have been in places in life that I wish to go. And so here I am relaying this information to you guys in the form of a step-by-step plan that you can use to achieve your goals and get to where you want in life. Without further ado, step number one, and this is probably the most important. What you need to do is identify a target. Come up with a dream. You need to come up with a vision. You need to come up with an end goal. It's like setting the GPS for your life. You can't know what direction to move in if you don't plug in the end destination first. You need to have a goal. You need to have something to move forward to, or to begin taking steps in the direction of, in order to know which way to go and what to do. This is big. And something that one of my mentors said to me that really stuck and had an impact on me was, if the idea of you achieving your goal doesn't scare you, then your goal needs to be bigger. So I encourage you to dream big, kind of take upon the shoot for the moon, land amongst the stars mentality, where by setting your goal as something so grandiose, by taking the steps to achieve it, by being crazy enough and thinking that you can actually achieve it, which you can, the things that you're gonna have to do to achieve that goal, when you look down and look back at all the steps that you've taken, they'll be monumental achievements in and of themselves. I encourage you to, again, think about the fact of achieving your goal, and if that doesn't scare you, move the bar higher, make it bigger, make it crazier. I think that so many people have been programmed. So many people have set limiting beliefs on themselves. So many people have dumbed down their potential and don't realize exactly how much they're capable of. So I encourage you, whatever your goal is, dream a little bit bigger. Dream so big that it scares you. Dream so big that it terrifies you. And that's something that's worth achieving. That's something that's worth committing your life to. That dream that is so big and scary is the only thing that's going to be worth all of the pain and the suffering and the discipline and the effort and the hard work that's going to take to achieve that in the first place. You know what I mean? If you're going to commit yourself to a goal, it might as well be something so huge that it's actually worth doing. And anything that's worth doing is worth doing great, and anything that's worth doing great is worth overdoing and being absolutely exceptional at. So whatever it is that you choose you want to do, make sure that it's something that is out of this world, is truthfully like you at your maximum potential. All right, step number two, you're going to need to visualize yourself achieving this end goal, this end vision, this end result. And what I want you to do is think about the feelings, think about the emotions, think about what the scenery looks like. Think about you waking up in your dream house with your dream girl, with your dream car, going to your dream job, or at your dream business that you started, or whatever it is your literal perfect life looks like, and feel the feelings of what you would have if you were actually there. And you should be overwhelmed with like tears of joy and this feeling of like unmeasurable gratitude and achievement at that point, because I've done this for myself, and it's like literally every time that I sit there and I think about it, like me being able to call my parents and be like, look, you don't have to work anymore, or me buying them a house or a car, or doing something just like undeniable, like I made it feeling. Those things that you're going to be able to do, the things that you're going to be able to say, the ways that you're going to be able to carry yourself, that is extremely impactful, and you want to hold on to those thoughts and to those feelings when you're visualizing that. And another thing that this does is it unlocks the roadmap for you to actually get there. This is something that I've actually experienced in my personal life. There have been times where I have had a goal and I achieved it, and when I achieved it, I was almost scared. I was almost terrified of my own success. And this happens more frequently than not, and it's weird. It's almost like the final confrontation of those limiting beliefs. You thought for a long time that it was possible that you could do something, and then you actually went out and did it, and now you're almost like, holy, like how? And you start to doubt yourself, and you're like, you get this imposter syndrome. By visualizing yourself at that end destination, when you actually get there, it'll feel familiar, and that will really help you calm those feelings of the imposter syndrome, the why me, the how did I do this, the am I really this great, am I really whatever. And the truth is, all of those things are just you battling that last final boss of the lesser version of yourself that had those limiting belief systems and all those other things that were programmed into your mind. It's you kind of breaking free from the matrix, so to speak, and really finally overcoming and assuring yourself that you were all the things that you thought you were all along. Because now it's almost getting to a point where it's like your external reality finally matches the version of yourself that you knew you were on the inside all the time. And that's like a huge feeling. That's crazy. Step number 2, visualize yourself in your final destination, have those feelings, and understand what it's going to be like when you're finally in that dream world that you're trying to create. So step number 3, have a plan. If you don't have a plan, then you plan to fail. It's that simple. You can't get, it's again, using the GPS analogy, right? You can't go somewhere unless you have an idea of how you're going to get there, unless you have directions, unless you have a roadmap, unless you have a plan, unless you have structure, unless you have some sort of direction, like some way to navigate the path that is from where you are now to where you want to be in the future. There is multiple ways that you could probably get there, but you having one that you want to stick to and commit to is going to help you immensely. This plan should be from a 30,000 foot view, meaning look at where you are and look at where you want to be and zoom way out and look at all the big picture things that might need to happen to connect those two places or to get you from A to B. But you're also going to have to plan for smaller, micro level, day-to-day events that you're going to be able to measure in order to get you to that final destination. This is where having a big picture plan and a day-to-day plan is very important. Because I talked about this in another video of mine where, you might have a goal, but in order to get to that goal, the best way to do so is to become the version of yourself that has already achieved that goal. And the best way for you to be able to measure that, to be able to, at the end of your day, look back and be like, did I get closer to my dream? The easiest thing that you can do is set up tasks, simple stuff. I went to the gym, I read a book, I ate healthy, I worked on my business for X amount of hours. Create very specific things that you know are productive and are leading you towards becoming the person that has already achieved your dream. And that is how you can measure on a day-to-day basis. So take those smaller micro level day-to-day things and extend that and zoom out from that and have a bigger plan of the goals and the kind of milestones that you're gonna have to accomplish along the way to get to your final destination, and weave those two together into a plan that basically outlines how you're going to get from where you are now to where you want to be in the future. One thing that I recommend, write it down. Really put pen to paper or write it in a notepad on your computer or phone or whatever. Just write it down because you're gonna forget. Don't just mentally be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, do this, this, and this. Write it down, stick to it, but also don't be scared if things come up along the way that change the plan. Inevitably, as you start taking action, you're going to become more educated. You're going to learn things. Getting from one point to another can kind of be seen as like a mathematical table of inputs and outputs. I tried this thing, the result was not what I wanted. So I tried something else and the result was what I wanted. So I should just do more of that thing. You know what I mean? You're going to get feedback based on the actions that you're taking that were part of your plan. And now what you're going to want to do is implement that. So don't be scared if your plan changes. Don't resist your plan changing, because as you start taking action, the steps that you need to take to get to where you want to be might become more clear. The direction that you need to go in might become more defined. So adjust your plan as necessary, be flexible, and don't be so rigid and naive in your lack of understanding to adjust based on the feedback that you're getting in your day-to-day. Which leads pretty nicely into step number 4. You're going to need to take action. So I've already talked about this a lot, but taking action is the only thing that is going to propel you in the direction that you want to go. Okay, this is a great way to explain it. An object in motion stays in motion, and an object at rest stays at rest unless acted upon by an outside force. And that outside force needs to be you motivating yourself to take a step, needs to be you getting off of your you-know-what and deciding for yourself that you want to change and become something other than what you are right now. And that is a perpetual process. Action leads to more action. Taking that first step is so essential. I can't even explain it to you, because a lot of people, they wait until they're motivated or inspired to do something, and then they take action and they feel great about it, but then they're not inspired anymore, or the motivation faded away, and so now they stop taking action. No matter what, commit to your plan and take action every single day. And that action will lead to results, and that results will keep you motivated, and that motivation will lead to more action. Action leads to more action. By taking more steps, by trying to do more things, you'll get more input, more feedback, you'll learn more, you'll feel the progress happening, you'll get so addicted to the progress towards your own goals and dreams that you will not be able to stop taking action. And that's where you want to be. And maybe that sounds good or negative to some people, whatever. But for me, that is how I have managed to get myself to places where I want to be. Take action and then continue to take action. But when you're doing that, what happens is you start to see the results faster and faster, and you can feel the snowball building. When you wake up every day and you do the things that you need to do to build your business, to build your dream body, to improve your monthly income, when you start to see the results, that is so addicting, man. You want nothing more than to just keep it growing. So taking action is absolutely key because it's going to lead you to taking more action. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for inspiration. Get up every day, execute the plan. That simple. Step number 5. And this is one that's going to keep you on track. Obviously, like I said in the last step, taking action is going to lead to more action, and that's obviously impactful and very important. But in step number 5, we're going to talk about acknowledging your small wins and remembering where you started. Because when you look back, whether it be a month, 3 months, a year, 2 years, after you decide to commit to your plan and try to get to where you want to go, you're going to be very involved in the day-to-day things. You're going to become very detached from the reality that you're starting in right now. If you haven't started yet, you're going to forget what it feels like to be who you are right now, to live the life that you have right now. And I can't tell you how crazy this is, because when I think about the version of myself 2 years ago, that version of me can't even comprehend the things that I'm doing right now and the way my life looks and feels right now and the things that I've achieved in my life right now. If you had told the me from 2 years ago the things that I would have done in the past 2 years, he wouldn't have believed you. He wouldn't have even known what to say. He would have been proud and happy that I've done these things, but I couldn't even fathom it. It was really just a matter of me deciding to commit to a vision and taking steps to get there, and adjusting my plan along the way based on what I saw was the best opportunity to keep moving forward. But a very important thing is to just acknowledge your small wins, man, on a day-to-day basis. Whether it be something small like, I learned something new today. I learned a tiny new thing that's going to help my business move forward. I learned something about myself that is going to help me avoid pitfalls in the future. Or, we got 1 client signed today. I made an extra $10 today. Just the tiny, tiny little wins, that all compiles, and it's gonna help you get through periods where it feels like things are stagnant. Every once in a while, when it rains, it pours. And bad things will happen. You're going to be challenged. There's going to be objections. There's going to be roadblocks that you have to overcome. Nothing good, nothing worth doing is going to be easy. So you have to understand, eventually you're going to get tested. The universe is going to drop things in front of you to see how committed you actually are and how bad you actually want this thing that you say you want so badly. You're going to get tested. The universe is going to tell you to prove it, stand on it, back that up with something. You know what I mean? It's not all talk, bro. You can't just manifest your fucking dream life. You can't just sit in bed and think about it all day and it's just going to happen one day when you wake up. No, man. You're gonna encounter problems. You're gonna encounter hurdles and roadblocks. The day-to-day small wins, the day-to-day pat on the back, like, hey, we're one step closer. Acknowledging those things and allowing yourself to take some credit for the stuff that you've done already. Even though you're not where you want to be, you're making progress. Acknowledging that progress and those baby steps is gonna allow you to continue when you're faced with those negative things that are trying to stop you and slow you down. So acknowledging small wins is important, man. You got to keep your morale high. You got to acknowledge your progress and be proud of how far you've come. That's very important. And that's step number 5, is to acknowledge your small wins. And remember that we're taking baby steps here. So step number 6 is to become the person of your dreams. Now, I've talked about this in another video. I mentioned this a little bit briefly earlier in this one. The best way to achieve your goals is to become the person that has already achieved those things. And I used this example in my other video too, and this is the best, easiest way I think for me to explain it. If you want to make $10,000 a month, become the version of you that makes $10,000 a month. And it allows you to basically reverse engineer it and be like, okay, I know that the best version of myself wakes up at this time, probably reads books, eats healthy, has this, and this for their meals for the day, goes to the gym, is consistent, gets straight to work, doesn't get distracted, you know what I mean? Has this much hours of focused driving towards the goal activities. Reverse engineer your life. Visualize what the best version of you, what the $10,000 a month version of you is, and then just break it down and think about the steps and the actions that they take every single day to get there and become that person. It's that simple. That is easily the fastest way to get to where you want to go. One more thing to kind of add on to that as far as how you make that transformation, because obviously there's you right now, and then there's like the $10,000 a month version of you, whatever. I'm just using that as the example here. Obviously there are probably positive habits and routines that better version of you has that you should start to implement. But a great place to start is by removing the negative habits that person doesn't have that you do. I guarantee you the negative things in your life are holding you back way more than the lack of the positive things. I guarantee you that your poor eating habits, your lack of exercise, your pornography or drug addiction, and all these other negative-minded, self-doubting losers that you're hanging out with, the people that are around you, the content that you're consuming and putting into your brain on social media when you're scrolling for hours a day, when your screen time report on your iPhone says 6 hours, 8 hours a day, those negative things are holding you back so much more than you not going to the gym as much as you should have, or not eating healthy or whatever. The positive things are great, and those are very important, but I guarantee you that 80% of the lack of results that you're having is due to the 20% of the bad habits that are making up who you are at the moment. That 20% bad habit version of you that you absolutely need to eradicate those habits as soon as you possibly can without looking back. Get rid of them. And that might be really hard for some people. It truthfully is. I can't tell you how many times I've had bad habits leave and then re-enter my life via as a test or from being around somebody or just all these other things. You're gonna get tested. It's hard, but you need to do it. You need to do it. Getting rid of the bad habits first and then slowly implementing newer, better ones is the easiest way to become the better version of yourself that you want to be. So that's step number 6. You need to optimize yourself and optimize your life. Get rid of the baggage, get rid of the negative habits, and become the version of yourself that has achieved your goals. Number 7. Very important, we need to be consistent. When you set out to achieve a lofty goal, a huge dream, a massive vision, an out of this world extraordinary feat, you got to understand that what you are trying to do is push a boulder up a mountain. You cannot do that unless you're consistent. You cannot do that overnight. You cannot do that in one day, in 1 week, in probably 1 year, 2 years even maybe. If the goal that you set in step 1 is truthfully scary to you and monumental, it's gonna take you years. You gotta be committed to this for years. And most people can't commit to something for more than 15 minutes. Most people can't watch a video that's longer than 30 seconds. So how are they gonna do something or implement something in their life that's gonna take them years? Most people just aren't going to do it. But that's why if you're truthfully committed to achieving your dreams, you can't be like everybody else. You have to sacrifice the bad habits that everyone else has. You have to implement the good things, the hard things that no one else is doing. And it's really difficult. And on top of that, you need to stay consistent with it. The best way to eat an elephant is 1 bite at a time. Think about that. Consistency, 1 step at a time, baby steps, repeated tiny little actions eventually end up to the accumulation of this massive success. It's literally like the snowball effect, the compound interest effect, all these things that are extremely powerful, arguably some of the most powerful things in the world. If you look at how they accumulate, it's tiny at the start. The exponential growth curve goes like this. You know what I mean? You started nothing, 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 then all of a sudden, boom. You got to understand that results in life are similar to that. You got to put in so much action. You got to keep going, 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 going. And then eventually something clicks, something snaps, things just work out and lock into place. And that's when the results come. And when they come, it's all at once. It's like you get your magic ticket, you go to the bank, you cash out, and all of a sudden, boom, all of that hard work that you did is now seen as an overnight success because all the results happen at once, or like that big enough result to where it gets attention, where you feel like it's actually worthy of talking about, or it's like, holy whatever, this is life-changing. That thing happens all at once. And so it's really deceptive when you see all these people achieving success, having this overnight, stardom, or selling their business for $1 million or whatever. It's like you don't see the decades of possible work that went into them building that, becoming who they were when that happened for them. So being consistent is the most important thing. Like I said, we're trying to push a boulder up a mountain here. So doing it 1 step at a time and conserving your energy and not burning out and not trying to do it all in one day, and remembering that pacing yourself and being as fast as possible, but also as consistent as possible, and doing things in as high quality a way as possible is also very important. So I encourage you to try to find a way to go about achieving your dream that is sustainable. It's fast. You're taking actions really, really fast. On a day-to-day level, everything needs to be happening like this, but your patience on the bird's eye view, 30,000 foot level when looking at your destination and where you're at now and the journey of getting there, you need to be extremely patient. Have a 5-year plan, have a 10-year plan. And this is a whole nother video. We'll get into this in another one because this is something that impacted me a lot. I changed my dream to what do I want now to what do I want when I'm 30? What do I want in 5 years? And the mindset shift that occurred after me kind of adjusting for that was monumental. And I'll talk about that in another one. But basically, be consistent, understand that this is going to take time, one step at a time. Baby steps, we'll get there eventually. Step number 8 is to educate yourself. Stay continuing to learn, evolve, and grow no matter what. Whether it's furthering your education about the industry that you want to be in, continuing to do self-work and understanding more about yourself and who you are as a person. Regardless of what it is, don't ever fall behind the curve as far as trends and relevant information goes. Learn from people that have been where you want to go. Pay attention to things that are happening in your life or in the world of whatever it is that you want to be. Your goal is to set up a marketing agency. Pay attention to all the trends and all the little things that are happening in that world. Follow all the influencers that talk about that kind of stuff. Pay attention to industry articles and blogs and new softwares that are coming out and all the things relevant to that world. Immerse yourself in that. Because what you consume on a daily basis, whether it be content that you're watching, the books that you're reading, all of that stuff is like feeding you information that's valuable. It's going to help fast track your success, lead into you getting to where you want to go even faster and make better decisions and all these other things. It's very, very important to stay educated and continue to immerse yourself in whatever it is that you want to do. All right, step number 9, we're almost there. Do not surround yourself with people that don't have similar goals to you. I'm sure you've all heard this before, but you basically become the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time around. Their good habits become yours, their negative habits become yours, their thoughts and belief systems become yours, and you kind of just become the average of all of them. If you're around average people, you're going to be average. If you're around lazy people, you're going to be lazy. If you're around unsuccessful, self-doubting, limited belief-having people, you're going to be just like them. Cutting off toxic people from your life, cutting off people that slow down your progression and your growth is going to be absolutely essential. It's going to be like a rubber band being released and snapped. You have things that are pulling you down. You have people in your life that are restricting you and holding on to their version of what they see you as and limiting you and pulling you back and stopping you from achieving what you want. And you need to cut them off. Don't think twice about it. Just do it. It'll be the best thing you ever decide to do. In order to become the best version of yourself, you need to sometimes be alone to do that. I'm not saying that you need to be alone to achieve your goals or that you should be alone forever. That's not at all what I'm implying. I think that you get to a point where having people in a support system and a team around you is absolutely essential. But if you're at the very beginning of this process, sometimes you need to spend some time by yourself to be able to identify the thoughts that are truly yours. I think in the society that we are in right now, we get so mixed up because we're constantly receiving thoughts and information and ideas all the time. We're being bombarded with information that sometimes we forget or we can't filter out what thoughts and what opinions and what ideas are actually ours. So spend a little bit of time by yourself every once in a while. This will help you clear out your thoughts, figure out what you actually identify with and what you're going to choose to associate with and how you want to move forward with your life. Basically, you don't have time to be hanging out with people that are bums or people that don't hold themselves to the same standards that you do. It's very important that you get yourself around the right people. Because if you're around people that are motivated and want to be successful like you do, then you guys are going to feed off of that and you're going to propel each other forward. You're going to motivate each other. You're going to hold each other accountable. But if you're trying to be successful and you're over here and you have these goals and dreams, you want to do this, this, and this, but the people that you're hanging out with have no motivation, no ambition, they're comfortable with where they're at, they're going to constantly be feeding you ideas and constantly be rejecting you, constantly be shutting you down, constantly trying to pull you back down. They have the crabs in the bucket mentality. They are not going to be beneficial to your life, so you need to cut them off, man. Step number 9, surround yourself by people that are like-minded, or if possible, find mentors and people that are already in the position you want to be and start to associate yourself with them, learn from them, and really just immerse yourself in a crowd of people. Find your tribe of people that hold themselves to the same standards that you do. All right, step number 10, the final step. This one is going to surprise you. Don't achieve your dreams. Don't achieve your goals. Don't ever feel the feeling of being satisfied of like, I did it. Don't ever have that aha moment. Don't ever have that I made it moment. The second that you feel yourself getting close to achieving your dreams, move the bar higher. Create a new one. Dream bigger. Go bigger. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't ever settle. Don't ever feel like you've just won life. Don't ever feel like you're done. The second that you lose ambition, the second that you lose motivation, the second that you no longer have a target or something that you're trying to achieve, the second that you no longer feel like you have your purpose, or the second that you feel like you've achieved your purpose, you lose so much vigor for life. You lose so much motivation to keep going. You lose so much desire to just have more and have things and to do things and to continue on the path that you've spent so much time and effort and energy already trekking. So when you get close to achieving your dreams, reflect and acknowledge how far you've come, but then raise the bar higher and keep going. All right, guys, so that is it. You made it to the end of the video. You're a real one. I appreciate you taking the time to check this out. Implement these steps. Don't be a person that just watches this video and then doesn't take action. I promise you that if you do these things, you will see results, you will achieve a better version of yourself, and you will be more successful with life. And I promise you, no matter how hard it gets, keep going. The rewards are probably just on the other side of whatever it is you're dealing with. So hopefully you guys found that helpful. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back with more videos soon. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.